The NFL draft is done and over, and I am going to be breaking down each and every team and grading out their draft. So check back every day, because one team I will do every single day, and I'll have it up here on YouTube for you to watch. We'll go over every prospect that they drafted, as well as some key undrafted free agents that they may bring in. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section, and I'll be sure to address them for you. Also, just be aware on my draft grades, no one fails the draft, especially right after it. Even no one in this draft is going to get a D or an F from me, because everyone had a talent. Everyone did something. So if you think the grades are a little bit high, that's just me not going to too much extremes. And maybe in 3 or 4 years, when we look back on this draft, then we can see who really succeeded and who really failed. So sit back, relax, enjoy me as I break down every single team this year. The draft expert, Shane Hallam, shows off his knowledge. Writing mock drafts, prospects from the best college. Breaking down tape, he might develop a man crush. Tearing up guys, taking questions in a rush. Comparisons, learning lessons, Shane saves the day, oy vey. Hulk or Banner, doesn't matter. Listen, cause here's who can play. Alright, today we're going to be talking about the Tampa Bay Bucks. Tampa Bay had a top 3 pick, and they made the most of it in this draft. In the first round, they got Gerald McCoy, defensive tackle from Oklahoma. This was the player they've been targeting for a long, long time. They went to the bowl game, Mark Dominic, and saw him live, looking just for him. This is who they wanted. He reminds them of Warren Sapp. They want to bring him in. He has huge pass rush ability from the inside, something you don't find a lot. And though Ndamukong Suh's play in college really overshadowed Gerald McCoy, he was right there and could have been picked over Suh with no questions asked. So I think it's a good pick. Now in the second, they continue to address the defensive tackle position with Brian Price, D-tackle out of UCLA. They've basically taken these two as they're, in the middle, going to stop the run, going to rush the passer. I think it's an intriguing pick. I'm not as big on Brian Price as some people. Some thought he was a mid-first round pick. I thought he was a late second round pick. His motor runs very hot and cold. So if a guy like Gerald McCoy can motivate Price, keep him motivated every play, playing at his best, then they can get a nasty, nasty tandem here for all the teams that they face. If not, then you may have a big hole in that defense and a wasted second round pick. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how it works out. I was pretty surprised they addressed defensive tackle so heavily. Their other second round pick, they took Arrelious Benn, wide receiver from Illinois. And I like this pick. Arrelious Benn didn't have the stats in college, and that's why a lot of people knocked him. But he has the athleticism, he has the size, he has the frame, he has the strength, he has the speed. If he would have been playing on USC, if he would have been playing on Notre Dame, he would have been a first round pick. So you get him in the second, and maybe he needs some time to develop away from Juice Williams, who couldn't get him the ball. You give him Josh Freeman, you see what he can do. In the third, then they got Myron Lewis, cornerback out of Vanderbilt. Just a great fit for the system. Myron Lewis is a big guy. He plays physical. He's very good in that kind of hybrid cover 2 that Tampa Bay runs now. So I think Myron Lewis can be a player that is going to be successful in the system. Probably start out as a nickel guy, but I think he can develop into a number 2 across from Aqib Talib. In the fourth, they got Mike Williams, wide receiver from Syracuse. It looks like Arrelious Benn and Mike Williams are going to start, 2 rookies from day one. Mike Williams is the second most talented wide receiver in this draft, behind Dez Bryant, in my opinion. Problem is, he has a two-set head. He basically quit on his team at Syracuse. You don't know what he's going to do. You don't know if you're going to get a guy that's going to work hard, that's going to care about football, that's going to care after he gets that paycheck. I really want to see what he can do. But if he is there, if he is a player that wants to go out and play, he can be a number 1 wide receiver in the NFL for Tampa and start over Arrelious Benn and be better than almost anyone else drafted in this draft. So I like the pick in the fourth. It's fine with me. I think it's a little too risky for a 4th round pick. I probably would have waited a round or 2 for him, but I definitely understand it. In the 6th, they got Brent Bowden, punter from Virginia Tech. Probably going to be their starting punter. Hey, something that you need, and if you don't have one, you got to go out and get one. Bowden's a guy that can start in the NFL. 7th, they got Cody Grimm, related to Russ Grimm, who's the assistant coach for Arizona. Probably more of a special teams player, a safety. Not very good athleticism, but he's a tackling machine. Someone that's probably going to play special teams and be a great fit there. Also in the 7th, I got Dekoda, linebacker from Florida State. Like this pick. A big hitter. Guy that will jar that ball loose. He's a good fit for Tampa Bay because he's a little bit undersized, but he works for that system really well. So I love that pick for Tampa. And then in the 7th, I got Erik Lorig, defensive end. Probably more of a rotational guy. Another guy that's just a run stuffer at defensive end. We'll see if he makes this team. Overall, I give Tampa a B+. I like the Gerald McCoy pick. Little question on the Brian Price pick. Like Arrelious, Benn, like Myron Lewis I think was solid, maybe around too early. Mike Williams, maybe a little bit too early, but the upside is there, so I like that. A couple guys caught my eye on undrafted free agents. Jevan Snead from Ole Miss was one big one for me. I thought he should have been drafted. I really think that he has the upside to be a starter in the NFL, and I was very surprised that he went undrafted. So behind Josh Freeman, I think is a great position for Jevan Snead because you can make this team, you can learn for a while, you can develop, and see what happens down the line. So I like this fit. They also got Preston Parker, wide receiver from North Alabama, who's a guy not a lot of people know, but played D1, moved to North Alabama. I think he's a guy that can make a team, especially for a team that needs a little bit more in terms of wide receivers. Then also Sergio Render, offensive guard from Virginia Tech. I like Sergio Render. He really has name value, and so he was a little bit overrated, but I didn't think he was quite so overrated that he should have went undrafted. He's a solid player. He can move guys around. He's a big guy, and he's a strong guy, and I think he can make this team as well. So there you go, B+ for Tampa. One more left, Washington Redskins. Stay tuned.